I give credit to Governor Cox, who started Cox Enterprises 127 years ago. And in his will, he said to his family, if you focus and do right by your customers, if you focus and do right by your employees, if you focus and do right to the communities that you serve, the family, the shareholders will be fine. Um,
Mm,
and in any given decision, no matter how hard it is easy to prioritize one stakeholder for the short term.
mm,
Private equity as an example, you may prioritize financial performance in the short term. But if you try to think about a decision in the context of all the stakeholders, in some cases it might be regulators beyond just customers and employees.
mm.
In some cases it may be the environment. We have a big effort on conservation and sustainability. And so if you think about all your stakeholders when you're making those hard decisions, I think you'll get to a better decision. And
Mm.
so I think that is really important. The subtext under that also, what I like to say is, in order to have confidence in the future, you have to have credibility in the present. And so part of that credibility in the present is whatever your milestones or whatever your proof points are in the present around those decisions and those plans for the long term. That brings people along that you got something. But I think about all the stakeholders as we make the really tough decisions.
Yeah, it sounds like this is not only key for making sure you don't miss something that could literally destroy the company or destroy the business or destroy the team because you haven't considered all the stakeholders, but there's so many other like more subtle benefits to this just in terms of brand, reputation, respect, right? I mean, this is touches a lot of important parts of having a successful organization.
It really does. It can make it more complicated, but it also serves as a reminder to bring more folks into the decisioning process that may be more attuned to different stakeholders than perhaps you are as a leader,
Mm.
and really helps to drive debate and different points of view to make sure you understand all the needs of the various stakeholders. And especially if you're running a business for the long term, you want it to be sustainable for the long term, right? And so it's not just about doing good. It's not just about near-term financial performance. It's about all of that because you want it to be sustainable. You can't do good for the long term unless you have a sustainable business, right?
Without EBITDA, yeah, it's not going to work, right?
Yeah, 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 exactly.
And but likewise, you can't have positive financial performance forever if you're not doing good as well, right?
That's exactly right. If you're not meeting the needs of your customers, if you're gouging your customers in the near term for financial, they're not going to be your customers for very long.
Mm,
You know what? If you're abusing your employees in the short term, they're not going to be your employees for very long.
mm.
People have choices, and you got to make sure you're thoughtful and considerate of all those stakeholders for the long term.